Another beautiful morning to talk sport right here on Dominion Television, your channel of choice. And trust me, your sport where we talk all things sport right here on the go. And this wonderful morning, we're going to be taking you the journey into the world of sport from the local front. The President Federation Cup is set to take stage today, right there, starting from tomorrow. The quarterfinal stage, we'll be talking about that on the go. Also, the NWFL games are still very much ongoing. We're talking about the Super Six in action. We'll be discussing that on the show this wonderful morning. The Super Eagles of Nigeria in action against Portugal, a friendly game for Portugal before they head straight to the final. And let me inform you that just one more day to the World Cup 2026 happening in USA, Mexico, and Canada. All this and more on the show. Not leaving out the world of tennis, where Serena Williams is back on court and winning the double right there with Mboko. Giving you update in the world of Formula One and also the world of basketball. I am Paul Abe Toluwanimi, and I'm not alone in the studio this wonderful morning. I have the sport analyst himself, Sanuruddin Alimi, joining me to talk sport this morning. Top of the morning to you, my brother, and how are you feeling? Come on. I love the retro jersey. Before the studio, I remember, the camera crew saying, you're just repping a country that did not get to the World Cup.
Yes, that's what we do. Nigeria didn't qualify for the World Cup as well.
Italy did not qualify also.
So it's just celebrating national football, and the biggest one is here right around the corner, less than 24 hours to go. Yeah. We're going to witness biggest World Cup ever, 48 teams competing for the showpiece tournament.
You talk 48?
48 teams, beautiful. And that's what we want to see. We asked for expansion, now we've gotten it.
You said 48 and Nigeria could not even make 48.
10 African teams. It's embarrassing talking about it, but you have to move on. Italy didn't qualify as well. One of the heavyweights, former champions of the world, didn't qualify for the past 2 or 3 tournaments as well. So it's just what it is. You have to move on from that and prepare for what's to come in previous years, in subsequent years. Yeah. So talk about Formula One. Formula One is gearing up, and we have 7 races for the next 7 weeks. Beautiful. After a lot of hiatus and Ula Balu from the Monaco Grand Prix over the weekend, and the talk is still in the news. Kim K, Lewis Hamilton. Talks about brakes and all affecting performances of Ferrari drivers. The Mercedes team are facing trouble, but for Kimi Antonelli is having a great season. 5 races in a row. He's looking to make it 6 in Barcelona this weekend. So we'll talk about that. And Nigeria is making the rounds in Formula One as well. We'll talk about that later on the show. And for tennis, the GOAT is back. Yeah. She's not ready to retire, and she started her journey back into tennis with the victory yesterday, like you mentioned earlier, with Mboko. And we're looking forward to our subsequent matches in the competition at London. And I'm just hyped up to talk about sport, and so let's get ready.
All right, it feels good to be back actually to talk sport right here on Dominion Television. But before that, let's take a dive straight into the President Federation Cup happening right there on Thursday, where we have some teams who already made it to the quarterfinal stage. But we have some situations surrounding the game between Ikorodu City and Barao FC. But before that, let's look at some of the fixtures to look forward to. It's going to be mouth-watering games where we have Sokoto United against Air Kanemi Warriors. We have Wiki Tourist FC against Flight FC. We have Nasarawa United against Plateau United, want to look forward to, and we have Ikorodu City against Barao FC. So then, before we talk about the one of the biggest game, Ikorodu City against Barao, surrounding the situation around there, let's look at some of these fixtures. For you, what do you think is going to edge up between Sokoto United and El Kanemi Warriors?
El Kanemi Warriors look like the big name that's supposed to get to the next round, and I expect them to do it. Sokoto FC have done themselves a whole lot of good by getting to the quarterfinals of the Federation Cup, but it's cup football, it's knockout football. Anything can happen, and it's football. Again, the biscuit can break to any side of the pendulum. So I expect El Kanemi Warriors to go through based on what they've done and based on their pedigree as an MPFL team. But it doesn't look all simple like that when it comes to cup competition and knockout games. So may the best team win, but I expect El Kanemi Warriors to get into the semi-finals of the Federation Cup.
Right, beautiful. Wiki Tourists are relegated already this season from the MPFL. They're going to take on Flight FC. Do you think this would be, a re-emergency for them going into this game against the Flight FC?
Yes. It's a chance for them to work on their season. The season didn't end well for them. They are relegated, trented on the log. That's not what you want. And for a latter part of the season, they didn't seem like they were part of the people in the relegation bout, but they find themselves at the end of the day. But they can see all the season on the eye. play Confederations Cup from the NNL if they get to win the Federations Cup. So it's like an extra motivation for them and for the players as well. Let's rewrite this and give our fans something to work for. So I feel that's enough motivation for them to get it over their opponents later today. So like I said again, for this side, based on what they've done as an MPFL side, they look like the stronger side and favorites to qualify, but it's knockout football. Again, you don't know what's going to happen, and for those teams that have gotten themselves to that stage of the competition, they've done a whole lot for themselves as well. So you can't just push them over and say we are going to the next round, or it's going to be a walkover game. It's going to be an interesting tie as well, and let's see who wins between both sides.
All right, beautiful. And also we're going to have Nasarawa United take on Bengal Gobetan side, Plateau United. For you, you look at these fixtures, one of the mouth-watching games to look forward to.
That's the game I'm looking forward to the most. Because for Plateau United, before they employed Bengal Gumbote, they were down in the relegation, very, very, very low on the MPFL table, but which is it is appointment and all. It took the team, turned them around. They took points off loads of teams that were vying for continental tickets. And for Nasarawa United, at some point they led the MPFL table, but they couldn't maintain the momentum to stay at top and get the continental ticket, at least being a good standing position. But still on still, they didn't end the season badly. I think they ended on the top 5 of the league, so that's going to work in their favor, and it's going to be an interesting tie. Plateau United, reemergence from second of the season for Bengal Gumbote. Can he do one better? It's secured a top half finish for the team before the season ended. Can they do one better and get to the final, or maybe eventually clinch the the Federations Cup title? So it's going to be an interesting one, mouth-watering encounter, just like the one between Ikorodu and Barau. We'll get back to that later, but this is the tie of the round. Nasarawa United 5th on the log on the MPFL in just completed season, and Plateau United, who are the re-emergence under Bengal. It's going to be an interesting one, and I'm looking forward to it. And I hope they broadcast that match, and we'll see who the fireworks are going to happen between both teams.
All right, beautiful. We'll be looking forward to that one between Nasarawa United and Plateau United. All right, there's been so much buzz around the game between Ikorodu City and Barau FC. Reason being, because the President Federation Cup credibility should be questioned over repeated Abuja advantage for Barau FC. Now, this must be said loudly without mimicking or mixing word. The organizers of the 2026 President Federation Cup owe Nigeria football an explanation. And that's why I have the expert analysts to help talk about situations like this. Now the question is, how can a competition that is supposed to be built on fairness and equal opportunity continue to make venue decisions that are clearly place one team significant at a disadvantage? Now, quick one, Sanuruddin, the quarterfinal clash between Barau FC and Ikorodu City has been fixed for Goal Project Abuja, a decision that raises serious questions about the neutrality, while Ikorodu City must travel 78 kilometers journey of about 14 hours, while Barau FC will travel 432 kilometers in less than 6 hours. Now, let me bring to your knowledge, Sanuruddin, that this will be Barau FC third consecutive President Federation Cup match in Abuja, having also played the round of 32 and round of 16 fixtures in the same city. How does one club repeatedly enjoy the same value advantage in a knockout competition designed to be neutral?
That's a very big question, which the organizers of the Federation Cup need to come to the fore and shed light on, because like you mentioned, the past 3 rounds of the competition have been played in Abuja for Barau FC, and that's looking like an advantage now. The season has ended. They don't need to worry about domestic fixtures. They don't need to go back to their base all the time, and that's a disadvantage when it comes to things like this, because even for away games in the MPFL, we know how fatigue takes its toll on players that would participate in those match day competitions. So not to talk of giving an advantage to a side. We don't know, this is coming from one side of the pendulum. Maybe if the organizers of the competition come out and say, okay, it's a round robin system, well, this is how we select venues for each matches, maybe that would counter this. But at the moment now, we have to go with what is out there in the press. A team has continuously played 3 games or 3 rounds of fixtures in a knockout football at the same venue. That's the advantage to their opponents, who have been going around the 6 regions in Nigeria to prosecute their game and get their ticket to play in the final. For Ikorodu City, it's going to be a very important one, because they missed out on the continental tickets very slightly.
Very
and
slightly, yeah.
they're looking to get all the advantage they can or all their might and get this one in the bag and push them on the continent for next season. So they have to raise the alarm and say this is not right. And for Barra FC, they also need to come out and debunk this and say, okay, we've not engaged ourselves in any wrongdoing, or this is just a local
Questions should be forwarded to the right quarters.
to the right quarters,
Yeah.
not just put it out in the press to give speculations and all. So for the organizers, even the way the competition started has shown that they are not ready for it. The logistics around it, we didn't know the fixtures for the first round of the competition up until 2 or 3 days to the competition. That's to show you there have been lapses as early as the beginning of the competition. So that was not addressed, and it has moved on to the point where a team is getting venue, and someone has to have checked that and said, oh, Barra have played 3 competitions or 3 games in this venue. They shouldn't get that extra to avoid eyebrow raising from other teams. But now that it has come to the fore, it's really going to be an advantage for Barra FC, yes, because they travel for less hours, and for Ikorodu City they need to spend more time on the road, and 1 or 2 things it's going to take its toll on the performance of the players. But that's not an excuse. You've done it before. If you want to get to the fore of the competition, you have to play against the best. You have to play against all conditions and win. So let's hope they address this issue before the end of this quarterfinal. And if Barra FC qualify for the next round, are they going to still play the next game in Abuja, or there's going to be
another neutral ground
now that it has been exposed to the world that they've enjoyed the luck of that competition of that ground over the past couple of rounds. So right now, Ikorodu City just need to get themselves in right shape and right frame of mind, prosecute this game. This cannot be changed. The match is happening today and tomorrow, so it cannot be changed now. Just prepare for the journey, get yourself the ticket or get yourself the win and get to the next round, and let's see what happens between these allegations coming out to the press.
All right, beautiful. Just try to get yourself the win is what Sanuruddin is telling Ikorodu City, and maybe Barao FC, having to show they have got this season to remain in the top flight football of the MPFL, and this might be a chance for them to also to get a ticket right there to the continental football. All right, let's move away from the President Federation Cup and let's talk about the 2026 Super 6 NWFL game. Match day 1 was super exciting as Nasarawa Amazons picked up the victory against Edo Queens 1-0. Rivers Angels picked up victory against FC Robo Queens 3-2, and we have Bayelsa Queens against Abia Angels. That one ended 1-1. There you have to the screen, and when you look at the table after match day 1, you'll see Rivers United topping the table right there with 3 points, Nasarawa Amazons with 3 points, Abia Angels with 1 point, Bayelsa Queens with 1 point, FC Robo Queens and Edo Queens are on 0 points. After the match day 1, we had other games that was exciting to look forward to in match day 2, where you have Abia Angels pick up victory against Rivers Angels 1-0, Nasarawa Amazons against Bayelsa Queens, the game ended 2-1. You look at FC Robo Queens having not to pick up any points still in the competition against Edo Queens, the game ended 4-1. All right, let's take a dive straight into the table of match day 2, where you have Nasarawa Amazons with 6 points, Abia Angels with 4 points, we have Edo Queens with 3 points, we have Rivers Angels with 3 points, we have Bayelsa Queens with 1 point, and FC Robo Queens are still not to get any points right there. It's going to be exciting. So Nuruddin, it's match day 3, and after match day 1, match day 2, we are back to match day 3, and some disappointment and some joy for you looking at the Super 6 for the NWFL.
Yes, this is the showpiece tournament for the just concluded NWFL season, and this is where all teams that played well in their respective groups come together and get the competition, and who gets the title at the end of the day. Nasarawa Amazons are flying at the moment. Their fans and the coaches and everybody that is associated with the club right now are in a place they want to be. But for some teams like FC Robokun, we spoke about it before we came on, and I think one of the things that has affected their performances is absence of 1 or 2 key players in the squad who are currently with the Super Falcons, who just played a friendly against Senegal over the weekend and on Monday. So that, I think, has taken its toll on the stability and performance of the FC Robo. But it's a team sport. You need to be able to galvanize yourself together, even if it's injury or national team duties like this that take 1 or 2 players away from your squad. You need to be able to put together a set up 11 players that will be able to prosecute games at the highest level for you. So they still have the chance. There's still much 3 to go, 4, and I think 5 to go for them. So there's still points to grab on the board. It's a neutral ground. Everybody's playing what they have to do, and everybody's doing what they have to do to get maximum points and leave the trophy at the end of the day. So it's still exciting times. Just 2 games, and this is just. And most times this competition format is just for participation.
Yeah.
Because for me, sometimes the team that plays third on the log of the table when the regular season ended, might be the one that will leave the trophy at the end of the day. So you just have to put yourself together. It's a league format. You have to get most amount of points, and right now some teams are lacking. Robo Queens are lacking. Maybe when they get 1 or 2 of the players that represented the Falcons at the friendly games back in the squad, maybe that will boost the morale of the team and boost the performances as well. And for Nasarawa Amazons, who are leading the table right now, that's where you want to be. You can keep it up, and
that was the same Nasarawa United that were also leading the table.
So that's to show you something is going well in Nasarawa State football wise.
So but right now it depends on the consistency. Do they drop points? Remember, Nasarawa United also have to drop
points. So they led Nasarawa United led the league for about 2 or 3 weeks, and for the next 4 match days, they were nowhere to be found. So is that going to happen to the Nasarawa Amazons? That's a big question for them to answer, and maybe they can shoot us right there. And show something.
All right, let's just look at the fixtures quickly before we talk about the Super Falcons, Olympic qualifying game against Comoros. Thank you so much, my producer. There you have done a scrim. Edo Queens against Abia Angels, Rivers Angels against Bayelsa Queens, and FC Robo Queens against Nasarawa Amazons. Do you see FC Robo Queens are picking up a victory against a team who has 6 points already in this competition?
Yes, they can get the maximum points if they do what they're supposed to do. Convert your chances, keep it tight at the back, and show what they did in the regular season, because they were high flyers in the regular seasons. They led their side of the table, leading to this NWFL Super 6 competition. So it's something they've done before, and I feel they can do it again. And it's just the best of both worlds, and let's see what happens at the end of the day.
All right, let's see what happens at the end of the day. Those are the fixtures right there on your screen for you to enjoy, and for you, watching us right now to just predict who you think would win the games. All right, let's move away from that. Let's talk about the Super Falcons game qualification Olympic 2028 as the Super Falcons are set to face Comoros right there. But before that, they had a friendly game, and they picked up the victory against Senegal. That was the second leg game against Senegal, where we have Joel Mewa and Zizat Oshuala getting a goal. The game ended 3-0. And you look at some key players, Joel Mewa, you look at the likes of Azizat Oshuala still being in the frame, you look at some set of goalkeepers still be quickly.
Last week we had this back and forth why Azizat Oshuala and some players were called in, and for the first half of the game against Senegal on Monday, when those old heads, like if that's right to put right now, were not in the 4, lots of chances were created and they couldn't convert it. And second half, when these players were introduced, we saw changes in the attack and 3 goals came in. So that's to show you these players are still a central part, an essential part of this Super Falcons team, at least for the next competitions. The WAFCON is in 45 or 46 days now. You can't bring a new set of players who are not accustomed to the way this team, the team has played over a period of time. So I think 1 or 2 additions that came into the squad, Tony Payne, I saw what she did. 1 or 2 players as well that did very well. Omoni Shalabadi did too. She had a very good.
And the lady from Roma, also the defender.
Yes, I've forgotten her name.
Very classic.
Very classic. And one also came on very late in the game as well. She did very well. She started the game well, and that's what we want to see. When you bring in new players, let them justify the reason why they were called up to the national team, and yes, they give a good account of themselves. And I see them being integral part of the team moving forward.
Right, and big shout out also to a name that Nigerians have been wanting to be part of the squad. Gift Monday also showed,
the reason why she ended the call. That's what we want to see. Like I said, if a player gets the call up to the national team, we don't want it based on merit or based on things they've done. We want it based on their current performances and form and what they can add to the squad. And Gift Monday showed that we were lacking something very absence over the past couple of windows, and now she's brought it back, and I hope she keeps up that performance and moves on with the team.
Okay, beautiful. Let me just give you an update that the Nigerian Super Falcons will begin their quest for a place at the 2028 Olympic Games in Los Angeles with a second round qualifying tie against Comoros. Comoros booked their place against Nigeria after a remarkable 13-0 aggregate victory over Sudan in the open round of the CAF Women's Olympic Football Tournament qualifiers. The Super Falcons received a bye into the second round due to the ranking and would enter qualification campaign in October 2026. The two-legged fixtures will be played between October 5th and 13th, with the winner advancing to the next stage of the qualifiers. Let me bring to your knowledge the Nigerian, a 10-time African champion, is aiming for a 5th Olympic appearance after featuring at Sydney 2000, Athens 2004, Beijing 2008 and Paris 2024. Should the Super Falcons overcome Comoros, they will face the winner of the tie between Morocco and Congo in the next qualifying round. Quickly, within 30 seconds.
That's the match for me. The Morocco.
Okay, so you already see us advancing already.
Comoros are not a match for them.
But if you look at the scoreline,
that is Sudan or South Sudan, whichever of the teams they played in that competition. But Comoros are not a match for.
So now your focus is on Morocco and Congo.
Yes, what happens between those games, because that's going to be a very tough one for us to get the ticket to play at the Olympics. And I think FIFA or Olympic need to relax the requirements to go to the World Cup for African teams. If Morocco and the Super Falcons play in a bid to get to the Olympics, they are reducing the chances of getting great teams from Africa to represent them at the Olympics. So I think there should be a different format that will allow the best teams, we should have Morocco, Super Falcons, Senegal and the likes represent us, not luck of the draw against. But if they still want to get to this, they need to give us a format that would give the less privileged sides or the underdogs a chance to get the ticket as well, not just a straight bite to the tournament. So now I think the Super Falcons are next to they're waiting for the winner between Morocco and Congo, and let's see what happens and who gets tickets to play represent Africa at the Olympics.
All right, so definitely we will be giving you more update on the qualifying game for the Olympics right there. But let's move quickly because of our time, because we still have more stories to cover this wonderful morning. And let me inform you that we have international friendly games to look forward to today, where we have Portugal against Nigeria, England against Costa Rica, Bolivia against Algeria, Iran against Grenada, and we have Austria against Guatemala. Those are the friendly games to look forward to today, but our focus is definitely going to be for the Super Eagles of Nigeria against Portugal. Before we discuss that, let's watch the friendly game that happened some years ago where Bruno Fernandes got an hat-trick right there against Nigeria. Yeah, so definitely we're watching that and also getting an interview from the captain Wilfred Ndidi and the coach Eric Shears.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast, and on X at DominionCast. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
Innenverteidiger sind meistens noch auf dem Posten, sonst stünde es hier schon 2-0, 3-0. Und jetzt gibt es den Strafstoß, Handelfmeter. Und es war wohl der Mann. Bruno Fernandes tritt an und er macht das ganz klar. 2-0 Portugal, 35. Minute. Bruno Fernandes schnürt damit seinen Doppelpack. Und es scheint ein sehr gemütlicher Abend zu werden für Portugal in diesem Test. Vielleicht mal Samuel Chukwueze, der setzt sich da wunderbar durch. Und dann ist da Rui Patricio. Wieder João Mario. Kein ordentlicher Pass, aber der Abschluss kommt von João Felix. Gut pariert von Francis Suso. Viel zu lang und schaut auf die Tribünen. Da ganz tolle Stimmung. Die Handylichter werden angemacht. Man stimmt sich so langsam ein auf eine hoffentlich große Weltmeisterschaft aus Sicht der portugiesischen Fans. Jetzt gibt es hier nochmal ein bisschen Aufregung. Konto. Und jetzt im Duell. Dennis gegen Rui Patricio. Patricio ist da dran.
It will be a very good test. It will be a very good test for us. We made the first test against Poland, and Portugal is a great team, a massive team with big players as well. So it will also be a very massive test for us as a group, to our vision, to our aim as a team, to our growth. So it will be a very good test for us, and I think Eric is a very, very, very great manager. He's an amazing guy. The way he brings the team together is really, really good, because everyone is so happy having him around, which is the most important thing, is to have a group who is ready to fight, work for you as a team, work for the nation, you know. Missing out at the World Cup is really, really sad, you know, everyone can say that. But as I said earlier, the aim is not just to beat ourselves on what we've missed, is to actually look forward to the bright future and what we can actually achieve together as a team. He has brought in a great philosophy, and you see the way we performed at the AFCON. Yes, we couldn't, but it was exciting, you know. So, and this is a positive thing, and the mindset also is very positive going forward. And we will look forward to everything, every training, every game, like game by game, you know, try to improve, you know. So we're not perfect, but I know we're getting there. We're getting to improve every day. This is football. We learn both when we win, when we draw, when we lose. We keep learning. There's so much confidence in the team. With our philosophy, we believe in ourselves. We don't care who we're playing, even if we're playing the likes of the biggest countries in the world. But the most important thing is we as a player, we as team, which is very important. And we look forward to taking our philosophy and our strategy, everything to the game. If it comes out well, very brilliant. We keep learning. If it doesn't come out well, it's still brilliant. Yes, we didn't qualify for this World Cup, which was very, very, very painful. But what we are planning now is just for the future. The philosophy, as I said earlier, the targets, the aim is to keep improving, and we try to make sure it doesn't happen again. We try to qualify for every tournament, try to win games, which is very important. And also the group is very, very focused, you know, so it is very, very good. As we as a nation, missing out on the World Cup is very, very sad, as massive as we are. But we just want to look forward. This is past. Good luck to the guys at the World Cup. But this, for us as a team, is looking forward to the next.
All right, there you have it. Wilfred Ndidi, the captain of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, giving us an update of what to expect tonight between Portugal, and there you also have it. You watch that beautiful highlight right there between Portugal and the Super Eagles of Nigeria, where we still had the likes of Itebo, Emmanuel Dennis, William Troost Ekong still playing for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And I also remember that was where we had the fight between Moses Simon and your coach, Rivers United coach. Finidi George battling the shed between Pepe and himself. But we've got way past that. But one thing I want to pick in this interview from Indidi is his last statement talking about the World Cup. Terry Murphy also made a statement saying this is really sad because before they qualify again, most of them will be 30 plus, and he knows that most of them will not have an advantage to be at the next World Cup. It's really sad that they're going to be watching from home. But what do you take of that, and also what do you take ahead of this game, even for Portugal and also for the Super Eagles Nigeria?
This is the final stretch of qualifiers or friendlies, preparatory matches for teams that are going to the World Cup. About 6 or 7 of them have friendly stadium. Portugal seems to be one of them, and they've chosen the right opponent in my own opinion in Super Eagles. A side will be licking their lips and say, licking their wounds and say we should have been at it, we should also be prepared. This should also be a preparatory game for us as well. But then the right shape, and from the interview with Ndidi, I heard him mention philosophy. This is what we want to see. We want to have a clear strategy and a clear pattern of play for the team moving forward. Not just come together every time there's a international friendly window, put 1 or 2 players together, just prosecute the games and go again. We need to put up a philosophy or a system that works for us, and that starts from the coaching crew, the set of players we employ, and the data we collect from each and every of our games. That's going to help us prepare for subsequent competitions. And it's very sad that we didn't go to the World Cup because Nigeria is a very big nation. This is the second World Cup we are missing consecutively. We didn't go to the one in Qatar. Now with 3 countries, which I think would have been a very good one for us, for the array of stars we are currently parading. And it's going to open up our football and the nation as well to several other opportunities. But we have moved past that. We are looking forward to the AFCON qualification, and the team that played against Poland in the first friendly game, they didn't play badly. They ended in a 2-2 draw, and the players gave a good account of themselves. This is what we want to see. And going back to the talk about philosophy, now we have players that can fit into any position we bring them to. We know this is the right profile of player to bring for this position. This is the right profile of player to bring to this position, and it's not going to be dependent on one player or 2 set of players that can only prosecute this position for us. So moving forward now, the likes of Terry Murphy, Ndidi might not be around when the team is getting to play for the qualifiers for the next World Cup in 2030. Right. So they'll make do with that and just leave a very good legacy for themselves and lay a good foundation for the players that have done the colours of the Super Eagles going forward. Beautiful.
All right. If you're watching us right now, would you think would a job between Portugal and the Super Eagles of Nigeria? Drop that in the comment section. We'll be expecting your comment. All right. Moving quickly, like I said, it's just 1 day to the World Cup. I don't know if my producer have the list of teams already in the group. The FIFA World Cup, where we have Group A, Group B, Group C, Group D, Group E, Group F, Group G, H, I, J, K, L, and we have 48 teams participating in this year's World Cup in Mexico, USA, and Canada. There have been so much buzz around the World Cup, and there have been so much incident going on. Now, the Iran situation, we can understand that Trump has set a standard. He's saying, these are some of the things I don't want to be in my country. I will know the war going on between Iran and USA, and I think it's quite understandable if we are seeing all of these issues, them not allowing the fans to come in, because we got an update that the ticket allocated for Iran for its supporters at the World Cup have been officially removed. Iran says that the ticket quota allocated to the Iranian Football Federation has been withdrawn unexpectedly. No official reason has been given yet. Also, we got a report that Iran players would not spend 48 hours right there in the USA. Also, we got a report about the best referee in Africa not getting an entrance into the United States of America because he's from Somalia. All of that, what do you make with the situation surrounding the USA and all of these issues right there? Also, we saw some check-in from Senegalese. We saw all of that. Quickly for me,
it's so sad that this World Cup, one that brings everyone together, the biggest so far, has been more of the negative things than the positives. Maybe when the World Cup starts tomorrow, maybe we'll have a different approach or different news comes. But a lot of things that has marred the preparation for this World Cup and the presentation to the world has been very dismal. And I think FIFA didn't handle this well. This war between Iran and USA and the Israeli nationals has been going on for about 2 or 3 months now, and I think that's ample time to change the logistic for Iran, or maybe try and move the whole group that's going to involve Iran to one of the neighboring countries. This is not going to happen only in the USA. And maybe a chunk of their matches will be played outside of the USA. Maybe if they get to a pivotal stage, maybe the round of 16 or the semi-finals or something that has to put them, then we'll know, would have sorted that one. But as early as entry into the nation,
we should not be getting
all of this, and
because we say football is unity.
It's unity, and this is the World Cup. This is bringing everybody together. It's going to bring all the 64 nations of the world together to compete at this, and that's so sad that a team like Iran and other teams, even the referees, officials, fans and all, are facing scrutiny from the US government. And I think this is a slap on the face of FIFA, the USA, and the organizing committee of. And I think this does not have to repeat itself for subsequent issues. We saw the tantrum USA pulled when the Qatari
hosted the World Cup. There was so much noise around it.
Qatar said everybody, any demography, any race, you are welcome to the stadium, but the only thing is you're not allowed to drink alcohol at the venue of the football matches. And everybody came with human rights, blah blah blah. Now fans who have not even been to your country before have been denied entry,
and
because
ticket price is high also.
Out of this world. And I wonder what's going to happen.
So I'm paying an house rent for a ticket. You know, we're trying to analyze the price, and I'm like, so if you convert it to Nigeria, amount is 500,000, 400,000. I'm like, just one ticket for one game.
That's excluding hospitality, transport, feeding, and other side attractions that will come with going to a World Cup, because you're not expecting just going to the USA just for one football match and live just like that. It's not going to happen. It's supposed to be a tourist destination or tourist heaven for people who want to go there, but with all this in and around the USA, it's so sad. I hope the football compensates for all the negatives that happened.
I agree. I hope we have entertaining football.
And devoid of controversial decisions from the referees, and devoid of violence and every other thing that can mar the progress of the football game. So less than 24 hours to go. A repeat of the 2010 opening match is going to open
Mexico,
the World Cup.
South Africa.
So it's going to be an interesting one, and I think tomorrow we'll be able to dissect into this
full World Cup, full World Cup edition.
Let's see what
beautiful. I was thinking that you're not going to let the cat out of the bag, but since you have done that, it's going to be the World Cup edition right here in Dominion Sports. So expect loaded update from the World Cup. We're going to be giving you match highlights, giving you analysis about the World Cup, what to expect down the years, what to look forward to, definitely, and also you'll be dropping your predictions. Right, so nobody will not be able to give me, his winner is dark horse and all of that. But tomorrow we're going to do that together right here on the show. So I'm doing quickly the world of tennis and Formula One in 50 seconds.
Yes, we mentioned earlier, Serena Williams made a return back to tennis yesterday. She played the doubles match at the London Queen's event, WTA 500 doubles, and our opponent, in my own opinion, were just starstruck. Everybody was just smiling during serve, during plays. Everything was just well, and it went well for Serena Williams. They took the game 7-5, 6-2 at the end of the day, and that's what you want to see. You want consistency from her. You don't want her just out of the competition. And they got the wild card to play at the competition, and I think she's eyeing a wild card for the Wimbledon as well. So those are things to look forward to, and she attracted loads of people to the courts to watch, and that's what you want to see. The GOAT is back. Everybody enjoyed themselves, and let's see what happens in subsequent matches for her. And on the Formula One front, over the weekend we had the Formula One Grand Prix, which Kimi Antonelli won. That's what you want to see. He's had 5 races in the bag now. His partner in the Mercedes is not having it well at the moment. He had car trouble, and that has happened for 3 consecutive races now. That's not what we want to see, but his team still is on the driver's standing. And for the Ferrari, their home race, which is Monaco, Lewis Hamilton got back on the podium to extend his run as the man with the highest amount of podium finishes in Formula One history. That's what you want to see from a legacy driver, and this is the third generation of player of fans or players who get to race with him on the racetrack, and that's what you want to see. He celebrated Kimi Antonelli as well, and his partner at the moment, they are not official, but she took the buzz to Monaco, and everybody was like, wow, is this what it means to be? And this was, and for Nigeria, I mentioned earlier, there's an official bid now to host the Formula One in Abuja. There are still lots of things to go to make that a reality. To make that a reality, but the first step in bringing Formula One back to Africa for over 20 or 30 years now it's on that way, and I hope Nigeria gets it, and we get to celebrate that when the news breaks down.
All right, beautiful. There you have it on the screen. A beautiful one to see if that happens right there in Nigeria. All right, we're wrapping up the show. Let me just give you an update that the New York Knicks against San Antonio Spurs are going to face for Game 4 right there, 1:30 a.m. That's the kickoff time for you to enjoy that one. Remember, the New York Knicks are still leading 2-1, and it's going to be exciting to see how that one pounds out in the early hours of this morning. Like I said, tomorrow is going to be exciting. It's the World Cup season, and definitely you're going to be part of that right here on Dominion Sports. We have loads and loads of freebies to give out, but if you know somebody that can sponsor right here on the show, we're talking about the World Cup, you can bring that bag right here, and we're going to enjoy that together. I want to thank my producer. I want to thank the crew for making sure Dominion Sport remains on the global stage. We're going to see you again tomorrow. I am Paul Abe Toluwanimi. Enjoy, keep watching Dominion Television, because this is your channel of choice.